Where is this? Wait, is this near?
Yeah.
Maryland. No.
That's on the opposite side of the country.
Yep. Nope. Ain't going there.
Hello.
Yeah.
And
Hi. Hola.
Tism.
yeah.
I was in a faraway land and I've been brought back.
Another episode of A-tsms. All right.
The only drunk one.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. On this episode, what are we talking about? We're talking about childhood. Let's take it back.
Way back.
Take it back. What kind of things were you guys like into as children? Like childhood obsession. What were you obsessed with?
I, in particular, had a extended point of my childhood where I was obsessed with Native American culture, aka indigenous culture. Obviously, as a white girl growing up in the early 90s, I didn't know the real truth about indigenous culture. I didn't hear about the killings, the re-education, all of that. I just focused on the fun little like figurines and like having like villages and hunting and gathering and like living off of the land. Like it made my inner hippie really happy. Is what I was trying to say. And my grandma used to live 4 hours up north in Little River, also close to Mendocino. A lot of people know that area. And it was just all nature. And so I would make outdoor teepees. We made a huge one out of driftwood. And my cousin and I, we would play the Native Americans. And then my sister and my other cousin, they would be the white people taking over. And we got that part of history right. And I just always loved learning about the Native American people. So that was one of my childhood obsessions. That was one of my childhood obsessions, amongst many. Like, I loved making forts. That was a close second.
Forts? With like pillows and stuff?
Pillows, blankets, sticks.
I like forts, building forts.
Yeah.
Just, like, for whatever, just crawling into small spaces. Which, I mean, even kids these days still like doing.
There's something nurturing about crawling into a small space, I feel like. Because I definitely did crawl into small spaces.
Yeah, because, you know, you want to go home.
Yeah, were you yearning for the wall?
Small space.
No take backs, is what Mom said.
So, and all, like, jokes aside, like, I feel like that's a thing. Like, that's why when we're scared or whatever, like, people go into like the fetal position, because that's how we were as a fetus, and that brings us comfort. And just being, which is funny, because
no one told my brother that
in a closed space. But then, like, claustrophobia is a thing, because that's like a small space, and then it's weird. But also that probably has to do with trauma, maybe, or maybe not. I don't know.
Building. Did I build forts? No, the older you get, it's harder to think about your childhood because you know there's more to look back at.
Bigger gap.
Yeah, absolutely. I must have built some sort of fort. So I feel like I had to.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, especially because we had bunk beds when I was growing up, so I know for a fact.
It's like prime
material
for a fort.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. And like, if we had to, so pretty sure I did. Obsessions as any obsession that I had as a child is still here.
Yeah, I didn't really.
I don't think I grew out of my obsessions as a child, except for maybe the toy one, and I use that very heavily, quote unquote, because there's a freaking piranha Lego plant sitting back there. And I do have a couple of toys here and there still, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember having like just liking one thing in particular. Like, I mean, I was saying then as I am now, like I liked a lot. I was over here, like I played with toys. I had my action figures. I liked video games. I liked being outside. I was never home as a kid. I mean, I was home, but like I was also like outside and just going to the park, playing basketball, going like walking across town, like to meet up with friends or whatever. And like it was very different than it is now. It's like we didn't have cell phones then. We'd just be like, hey, I'm going over here around this time. Meet me there. And like, of course, like I'm in like elementary school. Like it's like, okay, like hey, I'm going to the park, mom. Okay, be back at around dinner time when the sun's setting. Like it's
Was that how it was for you, Allison?
I had a mixture of roving around with the fellow neighborhood kids. Mostly that happened when I lived in Tracy, circa 1990. Wow, sorry, ambulance. When I lived in
There's
Tracy,
an old man around the corner. I swear to God,
he's always on the list, but he still survives. He's still kicking.
I think he just likes the attention.
Yeah.
You know, maybe one time, one of those party man is just gonna start. All right, I'm done.
Maybe that's why they're calling so often.
Why?
He's hoping, or she's hoping. I don't know. I can't tell whether it's a male or female, but I know they're old. Anyway, but yeah. So you had a mixture of like.
Yeah, mixture. Like mostly, I was like independent walking around when I lived in Tracy. And then when we moved to Pleasanton, there was like no like kids my age. The rest of my elementary school career, and I already really enjoyed just playing like on my own. I just was deep in my imagination with all my figurines and stuff. Like I was in another world. Like I remember living in Tracy, I would tell my friend I couldn't play because I just wanted to go play by myself. But I did play with her too. But I've always been a solo creature for sure. Yeah. Lincoln Logs, Barbies.
Lincoln Logs.
Lincoln. There were these logs. See, I don't know if Lincoln had anything to do with them.
I think
the culture thing. We just found culture thing.
American culture.
I think my childhood is so much more different. One, because I'm like on average at least 5 years older than you guys, and because I had a childhood in a different country altogether, so that's so much more different. I played outside a lot, and in the short span when I was between 4 all the way up until I want to say 6 years old, 5 years old, so not that long. And I probably have memories of earlier than that. My grandmother was around, so whenever my mom was working, my grandmother would take over, and she was pretty much old school, like, hey, it's okay if you go outside. Conversely, my mom was the other way around. She wanted to know where I was, who I was with, what I was doing at all times. I was never allowed to go to a friend's house.
They had to come to your house.
Yeah.
And
that was like fighting tooth and nail with that.
Yeah.
Even through grade school, I didn't really like. I had friends at school. I didn't have friends at home. I had my brother, and then my other brother, like 8 years later. And then I had a couple of friends around the neighborhood, but it was never like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go spend time over here. It was like, hey, do your homework first. You get a couple of hours, and then calling you back upstairs because I don't want you to like be out there and be a delinquent. So it was freeing but sheltering. So I had to find a lot of things for myself. And the more I let you guys talk, I remember now one of my childhood obsessions that still kind of permeates was just art. It started with, as any uncaged crazy child would, write on walls. And then because I couldn't help myself, through trial and error, the best thing that my mom could find was sculpting clay. So she found that, and that's the only way she could keep me quiet for hours on end. It also helped because when you don't have a lot of cash and you have sculpting clay, you can make your own toys. And when you when you're done with your toy, or if you're my brother and your brother gets jealous of your like, oh, here's my little toy, he would smash it.
Oh.
But then you can start over.
Yeah. Melt it down. And...
After I punch his ass. So it's modeling clay. It didn't harden or anything. You could let it harden, you could do other things to it. But the more, as soon as you applied heat with your hands, it would just mold again. So that was the only way that she got me to like chill, because that was also a menace. But yeah, that was my. Hey, I mellowed out. So that was, I think, my biggest obsession. Like just finding an outlet for that energy was modeling clay.
Yeah, I can't think of anything in particular that I was just like, this is what my focus is. Like I'd follow my brother around, like whatever he was into, like I tried to be into. But that also, like, even till this day, like he's like, oh, I want to try this. Oh no, I'm over that. Oh, I want to try this. Oh, like we've always just kind of been all over the place. There was never just like one thing. Which I'll also say, like, I'm grateful for my parents, because they wanted us to get exposed to a lot of different things. It's like, oh, try this out, try it. And like, there's nothing that we were really like, no, I don't really feel like that. Like everything, we're just like, oh yeah, that's fun, let's do it again. Oh, look, what's this? I don't know what I'm doing, but hey, let's try it out. Like, there was really nothing else. Like we just kind of lived. Like that was just the norm.
So yeah, I guess so. How did you, Allison, come about the whole Native American thing? Like, did you outsource material? Were you like a library kid at that point?
Was it Indian in the Cupboard?
Oh, I read that. I read that series. I love that series. That probably didn't help. I think I was obsessed before I read that series. I've
only seen the movie. I really liked the movie.
The movie was great.
I do know that was one of my favorite movies as a kid.
Yeah, it definitely piqued multiple interests for me, Native American culture, and then like building stuff. Like he made miniature stuff for this miniature Native American. I forgot what tribe he belonged to. Cherokee. I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, that was fun. And then like Boxcar Children was another book series that I loved. You read it too?
No, I know it is.
Aware?
Yeah, I'm aware.
To this day, like I still like finding furniture on the side of the road, and it goes back to Boxcar Children. Like I have cups that are just jars. So
cups that are jars.
Yeah, I use like old
jar, like a mason
jar, Jello jars,
cup.
and I turn it into cups. Like I do that because I'm like, it's a cup.
It's a container that could hold liquid.
Yeah. And it just makes me think of like I'm living in a boxcar, living off the land, living off of what's around me to use.
It is explaining a lot. I think media shaped pretty much our outlook on a lot of things. Media-wise, I think, like I said, if you know me for 35 years ago or whatever, it's still the same person with like the same interests.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just, tiny and more belligerent, if you can believe that, and way more energy and skinny. I miss being skinny. So my three big obsessions, and they're always on a rotating thing, just because priorities in life. I loved anime. I was introduced to anime before I was introduced to traditional cartoons. Thank you, TV, and thank you, parents, for not waking up early. Video games, because it was a thing. We had good babysitters. And
art.
I guess there's a fourth one, wrestling.
Yeah.
Lucha Libre was a thing. I was, and to a point, am a little bit obsessed with the art form of the thing, not so much that it's a sport. Yes, they are athletes. Yes, I know it's fake. Movies are fake. You know how it's gonna end. Shut up about it.
He admitted it.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I know.
Yeah,
I know
absolutely.
you admit it.
Absolutely. It's predetermined. Risk of real predetermination. The costumes overall, I think because it was so filled with culture, specifically lucha that's what really drew me in. Like certain characters took motifs from ancient Mayan, whatever. Or there's other characters that dressed up as a charro, and that was their persona. So there was always a little bit of like the mysticism, and some of them were creative enough that would like to highlight our, native cultures up to the forefront. So that was kind of cool. And obviously, come on, they're fucking wearing costumes and masks. They're like a Power Ranger before Power Rangers were a thing.
Sure.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Role models.
Yeah, not really. I like the bad guys.
Growing up, like I liked wrestling too. I mean, not lucha. I didn't even know lucha was a thing until I was like in my teens. But like had the times of WWF, and like at the time, like I didn't know it was like story driven. I was just like, ooh, like I like this guy. Like I like Kane. I like Jeff Hardy. Didn't like Matt Hardy.
Nobody likes Matt Hardy. Nobody likes Matt Hardy. Sorry, Matt Hardy. You'll never hear this, but you were just not the cool brother, man.
Yeah. The Dudley Boys, like 3D through the tables, like that was my jam. And like me and my brother, like my cousins, like we always like play those games or whatever. And
yeah,
they're fun. Yeah, like there was just I had a lot of exposure to like everything. Yeah. Not everything, because there's still things that I'm just like, especially when it comes to you, I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like, I just don't know. I've never been exposed to it, so I just don't know.
Yeah,
I admit like that I'm ignorant in certain aspects of things because I just haven't been exposed to them, and
yeah,
I'm okay
same.
with that.
Yeah.
So aside from Native American culture, as you were growing up, what else kind of piqued your interest and it kind of tugged at you, and you were like, "Well, now I'm going this way," because obviously you grew out of it a little bit.
Yeah. One, like you were talking about like media influence, and one of the things for my sister and I was the American Gladiators. So we made our own American Gladiators game growing up, where we took the couch cushions and we took the pillow and we put the pillow below the couch cushion, and then you stood on top of it, and then I forgot what we had in our hands. Oh, other pillow. So, trying to knock each other off.
Like jousting?
Jousting, yeah, because they had the Q-tips, exactly. Yeah. So we definitely had fun making American Gladiators, and then whenever the Olympics would come on, notably the Winter Olympics, I remember like we'd act like we're ice skating like on the carpet, like to do twists and twirls. So we definitely like emulated what was on TV around us. And then also I emulated my cat Ariel growing up. I acted like a cat. Only at home.
Put that drink down. I was on to take a sip.
That was fun. I would act like my cat was my aunt. I would call her my aunt. Like I have an Aunt Kirsten. I remember calling her Aunt Kirsten, and my sister and I would get my sister to play along. I don't know if she probably didn't play along that often.
Sister.
I know. But I would like crawl around and I'd be like, wait, Aunt Kirsten sees us, because like this meanwhile be my cat in like the
Allison's tism taking over the mic audio.
That'd be her like seeing us, and then I'd freeze until she'd turn away, and I'd like crawl off. You didn't crawl around as a kid? You didn't just crawl?
Crawled, not
like after you're able to walk, you went back to crawling. You never did that?
I like
so funny story.
Yeah.
Like and this is what
he wasn't
people tell me.
Capable of crawling.
This isn't my own. This is what people have told me. Mm-hmm. But like I was able to walk, and my sister would watch me, but my parents didn't know I was walking.
Oh, really?
So my sister would get really mad. She's like, "He can walk. Why are you carrying him? He can walk. He can walk."
Yeah.
And I just whenever they'd be around, I'd just be like on the ground, like just sit in or like crawling or something. And she'd be like, "What are you doing? Like he could walk." And then one time, like I guess my dad like set up a camera and like just saw me like walking like no one's business.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. And then they showed me, and I was like,
awesome.
okay, well, jigs up. All right.
You were smart. You were like, I don't have to walk. If I just sit here, they will pick me up and put me places.
Yeah.
I think that was the opposite.
I love that story. That's cool.
I was walking at 7 months.
7 months? Because you were trying to copy your big brother Hugo.
Hell no.
Like that's what
I was just exploring.
You're trying to walk away.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, my mom 7 or 8 months I was already walking and running. It was bad.
Damn.
It was bad for my mom.
Your poor mom.
Yeah.
My grandma. Jeez. I'm sorry, grandma. Yeah, I was already crawling up spaces I shouldn't be. I was already playing bowling with glass balls. Obviously, but now those little walkers that they put the babies in with a little, so we had a little slope on my grandparents' house, and there were glass balls. So I would launch myself towards the glass ball.
Of course.
They make sound.
Yeah. So that was the impetus for me learning how to walk, so I could just do that, and I would just put my feet up and go on the walker. I didn't get hurt, and she didn't get hurt, so that's a good thing.
Awesome.
Wow, broken glass.
No, thankfully, or not that I can recall my mom telling me. I was too young to have that recall.
Yeah.
But whatever. I was clearly not a normal child.
I have a question for the viewers, because Aldo's out, Anthony's out. There's this game called Henry. Why it's called Henry, I don't fucking know. The game was called fucking Henry, okay? Not
but
fucking.
Now we're fucking them. Yeah. See, this is why we're going to play it.
The game was called quote Henry end quote, okay? Purple. So it was like, this came out in, I would say like
Henry.
98, 99. 2000, and it was like shaped like okay, so here's the top,
Square.
scalloped. That was purple, and then there was yellow buttons, and then you would hit a button and be like, and then you hit another button, and so you'd have to like find like the
matching
memory game
matching memory game with noise. Yeah.
Okay.
That is
My
right up your
sister-
alley. It makes so much sense.
Yeah, I played that game for hours.
Oh, yeah.
You found Henry?
Yeah,
Anyways, that was a really popular game between my sister and I and my cousin Lynn's. We spent many hours, and then I think that was just before we got our N64, so that obviously took over.
So that was in the late 90s then. Mid to late 90s. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so mid to late 90s. Okay, so I guess you can qualify my childhood as like a tale of two coins, because I moved here when I was 12 going 13.
Mm-hmm.
So my childhood in Mexico was wildly different than my last years of childhood when I was here. I don't consider 13, 14, and
not really childhood.
15 like
you're aware.
Yeah.
Teenager.
I also don't.
You're still a child,
Like at 14, you're still a child.
Yeah, child.
but
yeah.
you think
But
you're
it's different.
wiser.
Oh hell no!
You can. So
I was trying to get English.
you know what
Yeah,
decisions you're making. At
you're
13,
aware.
14, you know what consequences are.
You're still a child, but you're very aware of your.
So aware. I was
Yeah.
super self-conscious. I don't know about you guys.
Well, raging hormones is a thing.
Yeah. And you were in a whole new country, learning a whole new language on top
I got
of being
that
a
shit down in
teenager.
6 months because I didn't want to get bullied anymore. Again, violent child. I got into a fight my first day in middle school.
Some kid being an asshole.
Oh no! I just wanted to fight somebody.
Oh,
Little scrappy guy.
Yeah.
Pair of twins. Hopefully they're okay. I know
but
one
you
of
beat
them.
up twins?
Yeah, the Thompson twins.
He's like, I remember them. Just
Yeah, because we were all through high school. They were nice to me later, but you know, it
you
was.
didn't give him a choice but to be nice. Apparently.
Man, I am not a big man by any extent of the word. And in high school, my freshman, sophomore year, and into my junior year, I was all of 120 pounds, 30 wet. And these guys grew up to be like 6 something, big monsters of whiteness.
What?
They were white. They were big and white.
Oh.
And no, we got along after that. I don't know why, because they were down to throw hands, and I was down to throw hands. I was like, all right, screw it.
Because they didn't want to throw hands with you anymore. So like, okay, let's be friends.
No, man. I don't know. We never had a conversation because I didn't speak the language at that time.
Exactly. So they're like,
no, I think they were just whatever the point may be.
That's the winner writes history.
Cool.
The winners always write history.
Whatever the case may be, we ended up being kind of okay afterwards. I had him in a couple classes throughout high school, and that was that. Might have gotten high with one of the twins. Don't remember which one.
Did you ever get into any scraps?
No, I've broken up in a few fights, but I've never actually been in one.
Because he's tall. People don't fight tall people.
They did not.
I got into scraps.
No way.
I mean, my brother got in a few fights.
Yeah, but he's a little shorter than you.
He's still one of the tallest. So, he had a bully. He actually got bullied at some
Aww.
point. But
People suck.
I had a bully.
I never did.
I was 5 and he was 13.
You had a 13. That's a
Neighborhood.
10-year dick.
Yeah.
10 plus.
Neighborhood.
Neighborhood bullies.
Yeah. That's okay. I got my vengeance.
You did.
I threw a piece of glass at him, cut him right above the eye.
Oh.
My mom, my grandmother, and her lifelong friend stopped being friends after that.
Your kid's a dick, so hey, we can't be friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's probably still got a scar to his.
Oh,
to his
absolutely. I hope that fool rots in hell.
All right. He probably is already there, arrested or something. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
If you're 13 picking on a 5-year-old, you already got mental issues.
Anyway, no, I got bullied when I was very young, obviously. And because I've always had an eye problem, it was always that. So whatever. Which is kind of why I like being by myself a lot. So I was very fortuitous that I fell into art, so I could just shut down.
Yeah.
And do my thing. But yeah, that's a lot of it during that time, just getting bullied by this fool. He was also like the oldest kid in the neighborhood. So a lot of the stuff we did.
So he was trying to run.
He was trying to run shit, and his friend around the corner was also trying to run shit. And then he found out that I fucked him up. And then I stopped being invited to anything. Oops.
Oopsie.
It's all right. So yeah, were you bullied as a child?
Oh yeah. Yeah, in elementary schools we moved around a lot until we settled in Pleasanton, and
Did you move around a lot because you were bullied?
No, but I think it didn't help my learning. So it took me a long time to learn how to read. Because of all those moves. So I don't know if that had to do with the bullying or if that just was all separate. I was like
different thing altogether.
And getting bullied. And it was hard because at the time I thought this girl was my friend, but I was like, she's really mean to me, but we hang out, so I guess she's my friend. And then in middle school, she was like, remember when we were like arch nemesis? And I was like, oh, she really didn't like me, but now she wants to be my friend. Yeah, I had a lot of that going on. I never felt like I belonged to any group in elementary school and middle school. I was in a large girl group in middle school, but I always felt like I was like the outcast. And then it became apparent when I learned out they were doing all these things on the weekend and they weren't inviting me because I was just like the at school friend. So
I was definitely the at school friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes sense for us.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yep.
We found each other. Yeah.
The only times I would do stuff is like sports. It's like, okay, then the whole team does something or whatever.
Yeah.
But like outside of that, in middle school, I was in a group. There was maybe 4 of us that were actually really close, which even at the time it was funny because it was like me, black kid named Andrew. He was Mexican. There was another tall dude named Daniel. He was half Asian. And then there was a kid named Jacob, and he was white. So it was a very diverse group. kind of like what I'm going through. Like, I got you, got Allie, I got Richard. So like I've always been like diverse. So I've always had a small circle. Like I would rotate those circles, or whatever. But like I always had like a small circle.
Okay.
That started probably 7th grade. Before then, like even kind of transitioning into high school, like the group kind of like dissipated as it usually does, just because bigger place, people find other people and think they're cool and blah blah blah. So and I also never really wanted to like hang out in the same place all the time.
Yeah.
So like everybody kind of knew who I was, and I would kind of just go. Sorry, I would kind of just go group to group and like just hang out. Like, oh, Mondays I'd just be over here, or Tuesdays I'd just be over here. I just kind of hopped around and like no one really thought anything of it. They was like, oh, he's cool, but like outside of that, like I really didn't do much.
Okay.
Until like I started hanging out with like Cameron again, and then like we're literally together all the time.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, whatever he's doing, I'm doing. Whatever I'm doing, he's doing. It's like, okay, whatever.
That makes sense.
But,
Yeah.
Did you hang out with your sister in school?
Because we're 3 years apart, we didn't have middle school together. Elementary school, when we moved to Pleasanton, I was in 2nd grade, she was in 5th grade, so we couldn't really interact with each other. We had different recess times, but in high school, I got to be a freshman when she was a senior in high school, and I loved it. I didn't hang out with her all the time, but I would go see what she was doing with her friends, and then I'd like fuck off. And it was with my friend group from middle school I kind of extended, and at this point I still felt like I was odd man out. When I was in my freshman and sophomore year in high school, I was in the color guard, so I was busy all the time on the weekends, traveling with the band, doing all the competitions, and I enjoyed it. But like within color guard, those group of girls, I felt like I was like the odd chick out, and so I ended up dropping out my junior year. Then I joined automotive. I got into small engines. And then senior year, I did like basic automotive my senior year. So I was never at my high school at the lunch hours because I was gone.
ROP.
ROP.
Were you in automotive in Rural High?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I was there my senior year, and I got into major beef with Mr. What's his fucking name? I wished I would have taken automotive. The body class, auto body. I wish I took that because Dell was the shit. Mr. Dell, he was Mr. Dell. Wherever you're at, you helped us kids. You had a big heart. You cared about us. You made us all feel seen. I remember I'd walk over to your class because my teacher was a dick, and I'd hang out with you. And then one day because he was grilling tortillas and like fucking delicious food out front. I'm like, fuck yeah. So I just ditched my teacher. I walked over, I was hanging out with Mr. Dell, and then I was talking shit about Mr. The fuck's his name? Anyways, all the kids, they stopped talking and they were looking at me, and I'm like, Mr. Woodworth. Mr. Woodworth is right behind me, isn't he? They're like, So I turn around. Yeah, I got detention from him.
Yeah. I mean,
he was a dick.
Dell was there for a long time, though.
Yeah, Dell was.
Because I took that class really easy. I learned a couple of things.
Cool.
And I like fire and welding. So
yeah.
I go that. And then my friend, let's use that word, from high school and middle school, we were both very much artists. But he was all about the image, and I was just like, let's just fucking get shit done. And I was also high in high school a lot, so that also didn't help. There's no redo button on that, but man, if there was, I would not get high as I did in high school. I would actually do something more worthwhile. Anyway, hindsight, right? Always.
Yeah.
Dell was a very good
good teacher.
Platform to help you get somewhere if you knew the school wasn't your thing, or if you knew that you didn't like school. He would help. He would give you the option and if you were interested, I maybe could have been working on cars and the body work type of thing, painting or whatever. Obviously, I'm not, and that's whatever. But for the people that, and I know a lot of the cholos in my that I used to hang out in school with, I know a lot of them did it, and good for them because they got out of a really bad situation and they're making money doing something that everybody needs. Because
Fuck yeah.
as long as there's a car, some motherfucker's gonna crash it.
Yep.
And as long as you have money for a car, you're gonna customize it. So good for them.
Yeah.
No, my childhood was weird. The tale of two childhoods, but art is like the theme. And anime. Oh my god, yeah, anime. Now that unlocked the core memory. Saint Seiya in English is the first anime I ever got into. Second anime. There was another one, and I can't remember the name of it. Anyway,
Voltron?
No, no, it was a bad one, but not bad one. It was just very kid oriented, but that's it. It was before Saint Seiya in the morning slots, and
Astro Boy?
No, Astro was the thing. It was Heidi something of the mountains. It was like literally the story of Heidi and Vikings and all that shit. But Saint Seiya is the one that
got you
caught fire everywhere. And it got so big. My brother was into it. Everyone in school that was a boy was into it. And for years. And when I mean it caught fire, I mean it. Like it was like no, put that away.
You said caught fire.
It was in a way that way back in the 2000s, Dragon Ball Z caught the wave, and the Big Three caught the wave.
I remember
we were all obsessed with it.
I remember growing up,
trying to burn the set,
watching Dragon Ball Z like very beginning. Probably back when it was on Toonami.
Yeah,
like it just hit. I had this friend. Fourth grade, fifth grade. And he was literally like printing out just pictures of like the Saiyans.
Yeah.
It was like, oh dude, I found this picture online because like internet was still kind of newish.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, give me that picture, print me out that picture. That's cool.
Yeah.
And I remember, cause me and my brother would watch it in the mornings, cause my aunt would watch us in the mornings because my mom had to go to work. At least I think that was the situation, or whatever. But we're like, hey, watch the show with us. Watch the show. And I remember her like really liking it at the time. I don't know if she was just.
Auntie got into DVZ.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to ask her. I'm gonna ask her if she even remembers this.
Is she gonna be there on Saturday?
No.
Damn it.
I don't think so. I do need to ask her if she remembers it, and I don't know if it was just like a good auntie thing, good, or if she was like actually genuinely interested in it. But she's like I simply remember. I forgot it was one of Vegeta's friends because this was the Saiyan saga. I forget what Vegeta said to Goku, but he was talking mad shit, and she's like, "Oh, and he said this part. Oh my god!" I'm like, "Okay." That's a core memory of mine. It's just her getting hyped about Dragon Ball Z.
That's cool.
And I was like, "Oh yeah, cool."
See,
so I need to ask her.
My mom
that.
did not like to watch Saint Seiya with us because it was unedited and there was blood and there was fist going through chest.
Yeah.
So a lot of that happened. We were so obsessed, and we were so obsessed with that show. My favorite Christmas present from Mexico, and I am heartbroken that I'll never be able to find it again, is Saint Seiya action figure from Bandai, where they wore suits of armor, by the way, and it deals with the constellations and all that. And on top of that, they were metal. The suits of armor was metal. So whenever you dress up your little dude with all the points of articulation, he had a metal piece of it
wasn't just plastic.
Armor.
It was just metal.
Plastic pieces, and the majority of it was metal.
That's cool.
It was beautiful. We got obsessed with it to the point where I had the original 6 Saints, because that's what they are. and then we moved here, so I couldn't bring them with me. Yeah, so
they need to do that with the Gundam figures.
oh, dude, that was a teenage obsession of mine. Gundams. Oh my god, I found a sketchbook from '99, and I think it was my first high school sketchbook, and it's somehow still kind of staying together. I have Gundams at the ass in there.
That's cool.
No, but yeah, that was a big one. And because it got so big, like the stationery stores in Mexico, they did exactly what you're talking about, where they just had the black and white drawings though, and you got to color them. So I got a crazy idea in my head, and I started making them myself. And I started getting a little cash on the side. And little old entrepreneur me also decided to steal cigarettes and sell them at the school.
Oh, nice. So
no, I was in third grade, not nice.
You sold cigarettes in third grade?
Yes.
Did you sell anything ever?
Not outside like the basic fundraising, like chocolates and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, fuck those fundraisers.
Yeah.
I sold golf balls.
Why? What?
Because where my grandma lived, there was a golf course next to her. So my cousin and I would go into the woods, find golf balls, and sell them to the golfers.
Again,
25 cents, 4 for $1. Sometimes they'd be like, "That's mine." All right, that'll be 25 cents.
I found it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Finder's fee. No,
and then we'd buy chocolates with the money.
No,
Bring it back.
I was a terrible person. So I got caught with the cigarettes, by the way.
I mean, dude, you must have made a lot of money doing that.
So I would steal a pack, and I'm not going to disclose how many packs I took. And this was over 30 years ago.
Yeah.
It was in Mexico, so
and in Mexico, the people that I took that from are long dead. They were already ancient.
R.I.P.
But if my mom ever watches this, I don't need her to know.
She doesn't know this?
No, she knows. She's the one that caught me.
Oh.
So I got very like, oh, I could fucking sell this. So I would sell it to the older kids and the teenagers on the second term of in Mexico. I don't know if it happens today in this day and age or not. There are two terms. There's the morning term, and then there's an afternoon term. The morning kids were usually considered the smart ones. The afternoon were the hooligans. I was obviously in the morning.
Right.
That's not obvious. You should have been.
But my mom was very protective, so put them in the morning with all the smart kids and less of the bullies, and then, forget it. Anyway, I knew when they would pass by, and I pull out the pack, and I sold each one. Not the equivalent, but let's just say I wouldn't sell the pack, I would sell each cigarette.
Yeah. Smart. More money.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then I would go play at the arcades.
Oh, with your monies?
Yeah. You think I was saving? Hell no. My mom would have been like, where'd you get all that money from? I'd go to the arcades and then be late home, and then my mom would worry, and then the cycle persisted for a little bit until she found a pack of cigarettes, and all hell broke loose.
Well, was she proud of you, though?
Absolutely not. Why would she be proud of me?
Because you turned drugs into a fun after-school child.
Did you get to actually say that part, or did she just find cigarettes, or what do you do with cigarettes?
She found a cigarette, gave me the beating, and then I told her what they were for. However, again, she knows now, so I can actually say that. And if Uli ever watches it, he can laugh his ass off. Whatever. I don't care. I started smoking around third grade.
Oh, you were smoking?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, I was a menace.
That's how you got caught, because she started smelling it on you.
Not so much. She got caught. I got caught because I showed Hugo, I think, because
or he discovered
there were bills now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, I pulled it out of the thing. He's like, you got cigarettes? Oh my god! I'm gonna tell mom. I was like, no, dude, look, it's money. And then, I think that's how it happened. I know many schemes of mine that were monetarily based. My brother kind of threw me under the bus because he's a bitch.
You had other schemes besides cigarettes?
That's all I'm going to say about that. I might be well into my 40s, and my mom might be well into her 60s, so she will still beat my ass. Yeah. So that's all we're ever going to speak about on that. Okay. About my menacing and entrepreneurial ventures that were not above ground, above board, per se. Yeah.
Did you sell anything?
Besides the golf balls? No. No.
Panties to the Japanese. Her sister, she was 3 years older.
I do have like a really random.
Oh God!
Nothing to that. Nothing to that. I just have a random memory, and I'm like, I can't remember if this is when I lived in Tracy or Livermore. I lived in Livermore before Tracy.
What's the time frame between Tracy and Livermore?
Yeah, that's a
they were next door. So we moved to Tracy. Like I was in Tracy for just over a year, from like 90. Had to be like 95, 96. We moved to Pleasanton in like 96, 97. Before, so I was in Livermore my whole life up until like 95 then. Anyways, I have a memory of just like wrestling this redhead kid at school. Like we were just like thrown down. We were just like fighting each other. And I remember he had one of those
rat tails.
Yeah, those. It wasn't his hair. It was one of those hats with like the tail on the back.
What?
Was it a? I don't think it was a foxtail, but it was
like
one
a
of those like
tail,
raccoon
fluffy.
type. Yeah,
one of those Crockett.
Yeah, Davy. Yeah, thank you, Davy Crockett.
Okay.
Yeah, when he was wearing one of those numbers, I just remember like beating his ass, and I don't remember being caught by yard duties. I don't remember why. I just remember being aggravated and kicking his ass. And I'm like, that's such a. I'm like, what? Like, what was going on there?
Obviously, the kid was a nerd. Because you don't wear a David Crockett thing outdoors without being what?
So I don't know if he was a bully or if I was a bully. I don't know. But I have another memory. Prior to that, I was assaulting another kid, but it was a mutual assault. We were sword fighting. I had one of his toy swords. He had a toy sword, and we're just going at it.
Okay,
fighting.
So maybe not an assault, more like sword play.
Sword play.
Okay, that makes more sense. Scooching myself.
That was, but then I stopped. I never had any other fights, and I really enjoyed because girl,
whiteness coming out. I really enjoy subjugating others.
What? I was gonna say I was from the realm of like girl culture. You play with your Barbie dolls, which I also did. White girl culture. You play with your Barbie dolls.
Oh, no, Barbies were universal
across the board. Okay, I can only speak from my own experience. So I don't know.
I didn't, but I mean, Barbie dolls were like that happened in Mexico.
Cool. They're fun.
Whatever.
They're fun.
Sure.
But like typically girls don't fight, and that's typically boys fight.
I don't know. You've never met my mother, have you?
I'm just saying typically, like that's like the childhood way. Like boys are more physical when they play. Girls are not so physical.
I guess they're assigned a certain like this is what you're allowed to get away with because of your gender,
right?
And I feel like that was very much so in the 90s. Like girls don't fight. Girls do pink and fluffy and colors and talk about makeup and the boys. And you have your diary and you express your feelings on your diary because how dare you cry at everything? Oh my god! And boys were just like rough, stumble. If your knees weren't scuffed or if your jeans didn't have like a little wear and tear by your knees because you were just fucking around, like are you really a boy or are you a nerd? And it didn't matter at that point. Nerd was gender equal opportunity, boy, girl, whoever. If you were in the nerd thing and everybody knew it, you were going to get bullied regardless of who you were.
Yeah.
Which I never understood. Like, being called a nerd, like, it never made sense to me. I never got called a nerd, but, like, I remember people, I'm like, you're calling someone smart? You're picking on them because they're smart? They're intelligent? Like,
because they're awkward. I mean, I think nerd by definition was that you're so smart, you're socially inept. Perception. I didn't understand it because one, I wasn't that smart because I didn't try hard enough in school. But I had all the makings of a nerd. I had big old glasses that my mom picked out, even though I asked her, begged almost not to get those glasses. I didn't care about what I looked like that much, so I would just go with the flow as far as what I would wear in the U.S. And also they didn't have a lot of money, so it's just like you get what you get. In Mexico, that wasn't an issue. Everyone wore a uniform, so the social class was blended. You didn't know. You only knew when you looked down at their feet, and that's the only way you could tell. Yeah, either it was a good leather shoe, or it was like, that might be leather. Got it.
Did I?
No.
Oh, no, I didn't. No.
I need to turn that on. Anyway, so yeah. But I had the makings of a nerd. I wasn't called a nerd until I got to the U.S. because that wasn't me. Like, you knew who I was. You were like, yeah, he's kind of smart. Oh, actually, he is smart. He just never tries in school, and also he's a fucking delinquent. So stay away from that kid. That was my safety. I was in the older kids looked to me when there was shit thrown out. I mean, in Mexico, we had fights from classroom to classroom. Think of your favorite anime in terms of classroom setting. Classroom 1A, classroom blah, 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 blah. It was the same bullshit in Mexico, but it was like, oh, the boys from class C are going to fight the boys in class B. Why? Because we're idiots. And someone says something, and now the whole class is like, well, fuck them. No, well, fuck them. And then we'll just throw hands at the end of the class. Yeah. And that was fun.
Yeah. Middle school, on to Junction.
Ooh, Junction. Junction at that time was
there was a fight literally every single
day.
There was a fight if not every day, every week, at least one every single week.
Like, Junction was hood.
Oh God!
Are you looking at that bug? You're looking for the bug, aren't you?
Get out of my head! I'm listening. I'm multitasking.
But, yeah, no, that's it. It was just like a fight all the time for no reason.
God,
there was no reason behind it. It was just like people wanting to fight. It's like, dude, why? Just because they're delinquent.
I mean, honestly, I can totally relate.
I remember witnessing a shooting.
Oh.
When I lived in Tracy. My sister and I were in the after school program.
Tracy was also hood.
And it had its moments. And we were in a portable for the after school program, and the portable faced like a public park. And I remember like now the memory's faded some because it's been so long. But I remember like seeing people with a gun in the park, and we were just like at the window like watching. Like the people in charge of us weren't like, let's not be at the window, let's get away, let's walk away, let's lay on the ground. Because I remember seeing gun in hand, and then I don't remember anything after that.
Blocked it out.
Yeah, I don't remember if shots were fired. I don't remember.
Suppressed memory.
So maybe they weren't, because I feel like I would remember that happened. But I remember we were like, there's a gun in his hand. I remember that.
No, there's like, I forget what the actual statistic is of 80% of what you remember is wrong. Just like your brain like tries to rearrange and make things what you think the truth. Again, I forget the actual statistic about, but it's something along those lines, which it makes sense. But like, because like there'll be sometimes like how people will remember the same situation, but they'll remember it differently. So
POV.
Different POV. But like also like at a, not saying that you're right or wrong. I don't know if that's situated or whatever, but like some people might say, "Oh, that's a gun in their hand." Other people like, "That was their wallet," or it was just some other object. That was back then. I don't want to say it was a phone because it was a pager. But because of the talk, oh my God, like we know there's a shooting or whatever. So in your head, you kind of simulate, oh, this is happening. Oh, like,
insert details.
Right.
So you start filling in the blanks for yourself. Yeah. And then everybody, like kids being kids, are like, oh my God, it is. And then that becomes fact.
That could have been what happened.
Yeah.
Don't know.
I feel like I grew up the craziest out of all of you. Probably.
You got some stories, and you got untold stories.
They'll stay untold. But yeah, I think because when you grow up in a situation where it's like you're not necessarily flesh with cash, but you know that this is Mexico, like, but you're not bad off. But you have such a strict like dynamic with your parents.
Yeah,
and I mean strict. My mom was very strict with us. You have to let it out somehow. Yeah. And my way of letting it out was that my brother's personality, Hugo, who's just shy of being like a year and a few months older than me, was a big teddy bear all through grade school. So I got to spend a lot of time not with him in grade school, but we would walk home together. And because he was a shorter, pudgier kid, it wasn't like, oh, well, he's a nerd. No, he's fat. So what would the kids make fun of you for? Physical appearance. and God forbid you don't speak clearly, or oh God forbid you have a visual impairment or anything like that. They would just rag on you. Yes, it's the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, but it was still normal.
Kids are brutally honest regardless.
Yeah, and there's also
they're bullies. Kids are dicks.
yeah. Kids could be dicks. So the fact that he was in a new school and whatever, it was him getting into trouble, me getting him out of trouble through violence. And then they really separated us. But he gets into middle school and something switched, and man, he got tired of getting bullied. He got a growth spurt. He got into the wrong crowd, and man, it was like him fighting all the time. And I'm over here, he's peaking in aggressiveness, and I'm like mellowing out. So that was that. As far as the obsession, he was the one that started getting obsessed with like fisticuffs, and I'm over here going like, I just want to doodle and watch anime, bro. Like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm watching anime. Oh, go play soccer with me. I don't like soccer. Let me watch my anime, bro.
Let me chill out.
It comes down on 5. I hurried home. I got the tortillas. I did my homework. Let me watch my 20 minutes of reprieve from the real world, and then I'm good to go. That was anime's always been my thing.
Yeah.
It was The Legend of Dai. Now I remember what the anime was. It was a Dragon Quest. It was.
Okay.
It was a Dragon Quest anime. They redid it. Netflix and Crunchyroll have it. It's not as good, but they redid the whole first arc. And the original anime was like the original arc of the story, like first part of the story. They never fully completed it. Oh man, I was in love with that. I was in love with that to the point that I got Uli into it, my youngest, and he was in love with that. It was great. I remember just the 5 o'clock hit. He was there. He was 3 or 4 years old, and then we moved to the US, and his new obsession was everyone's obsession that is now celebrating 30 years of being around. Pokemon. Yep. I even got to see Dragon Ball Z in Spanish before it came into the Toonami.
Wow.
Yeah. The Cell Saga was already out in Mexico before the Cell Saga was even a perceived thing in the US.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
You're ahead of the curve.
I am a bigger weeb. No. And nowadays it's still the same thing. What do I like? Anime, music thanks to my mom, art thanks to my social awkwardness and my desire to punch someone in the face. And going, must not do that, it's not acceptable. Is anything that you were obsessed as a child still you find that you're kind of obsessed with now?
Before I answer that, I will say that I think it's really important to still be in touch with your child self, especially in times when life gets rocky and curveballs get thrown at you, bullshit gets thrown at you. We all go through things. I've been going through some things like at work and in life that just really got me to feel like pessimistic about things and to have like a negative outlook, and like I just said the same thing twice. And I'm like trying to turn that around because I don't want to have that negativity because it does nothing. So like this past weekend, I was talking to my sister the other day, like it's good to tap into your childhood memories to remember who you are, your core. And so one of the things of like who I am at my core is like I love trees. I like climbing trees. And so like the last couple of years I got back into climbing trees. Like I took Anthony on a walk, but it's
Alameda.
Yeah, like Alameda, it's like just north of Oakland.
Okay.
But we were hanging out talking about anime and trees in a tree together, and it was just like wonderful to just be in a tree chit-chatting. Like it just like stuff like that like makes me happy, and I try to remind myself of those like small things that make me happy, that have always made me happy. And yeah, climbing trees, being around trees is one of those things.
Also, still being at this age and being able to get into a tree is I'd call that a flex.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people who could still get into.
I look at a tree, I'll hug it. And I'm like, that's cool, man. I ain't about to climb this on, bitch.
Like, let's call it what it is. That's a flex, being able to get into a tree.
Some trees are easier than others.
Yeah.
I broke an elbow trying to get away from a cat.
That's shitty.
Yeah.
Sorry that happened
fuck
to you.
cats.